Like, you're telling me that this kid who's not military trained, this guy, first of all, how did he get to the roof? How come nobody was looking? How come nobody was like, there's a direct line of sight between where he's sitting and those roofs? You guys didn't check? You don't have a drone? Like, that's insane.
Apparently, Cabot Phillips is Erika Kirk's ex-boyfriend. And he now is doing TPUSA How to Lead Like Charlie conferences, like at universities. Interesting. And no, they weren't just friends, they were a couple.
I do think there was something about the Charlie Kirk assassination that everyone just sort of looked up.
They're the people that Charlie Kirk made. The level of disloyalty or fear, I don't know what it is.
Day after day, as we dive into the mysteries surrounding Charlie Kirk's untimely demise, we uncover more shocking details. Right now, word is that Joe Rogan allegedly has some inside information that ties into how Erika Kirk was reportedly set up to take over Turning Point USA from the start. According to the receipts, Cabot Phillips and Erika Kirk were allegedly at a secret military base in Fort Huachuca the night before Charlie Kirk was unalived.
And eventually they tell him, oh yeah, we're actually using this random offsite building. We're back together. It's now JTF Southern Border. And that's how he walked in. And at that moment, he was talking to people at the front desk. He saw Brian Harpole walking out of this meeting with somebody. And I'll tell you when we started talking about Mark Amadei, but he initially did not contact me about Mark Amadei or Cabot Phillips. I recognized Erika Kirk on September 8th, leaving the Candlewood Inn Suites on the base. And I recognized Brian Harpole on the 9th, the morning of the 9th. The meeting was concluding at 7:30 a.m.
Sources close to the situation allege that it was at this secret meeting that the final decision to take Charlie out was made. According to Candace Owens, her whistleblower, Mitch is a veteran and a key eyewitness who claims to have seen Erika Kirk, Cabot Phillips, Brian Harpole, and Congressman Mark Amodei at a military base in Fort Huachuca on September 9, 2025.
I blew it off until there was, some other pictures that came up with other people.
What other people? Other pictures?
If you want me to say, there's a picture of Erika Kirk with a ponytail, and from her past. That person matches who I saw at Fort Huachuca in the lobby the night before, and she was with that man in the lobby, and that man, he was present at that meeting the next morning.
If you had to put it at a percentage that you saw that the girl in the ponytail matches the description of Erika Kirk, what percentage would you put that at?
Those are really rare eyes. That's 95 to 99%. I can't imagine somebody else.
For those who do not know, Brian Harpole is Charlie Kirk's chief of security. He is in charge of making sure that every Turning Point event and public appearances of Charlie Kirk are well guarded. According to receipts, before these appearances, Brian Harpole contacts state security to seek air and ground support 2 weeks prior, no matter how big or small the audience turnout would be. However, not only was there limited security at Utah Valley University, where Charlie was unalived, Candace Owens has also exposed that Brian Harpole never prepared the usual 2 weeks in advance security for an event that Charlie Kirk was having the next day at Charis Bible College in Woodland Park, Colorado.
We also know that Charlie was supposed to be in Colorado the next day, right, on September 11th, immediately following UVU. His next event, which was for some reason barely publicized, was to take place at Charis Bible College, September 11th. We broke the story, actually. We also broke the story that a security plan was not put in place for that event, which is remarkable. Harpole did not coordinate with Charis Bible College nor the Woodland Police Department because he was not advised that Charlie would be visiting the school. It was not uncommon for Charlie to visit universities with only Dan Flood. Really? I think they just keep forgetting that, I went on tour with Charlie for 3 years. That's uncommon.
So could it be that the small group of people who met up in Fort Huachuca the night of September 9th had forehand knowledge of Charlie's demise and were instructed to do nothing to prevent it? No drones, no rooftop surveillance, no emergency ambulance, and a bite-sized number of security guards? When you start to tie this information to what we now know about Erika and Cabot Phillips' past, as well as Cabot now speaking at events on behalf of Charlie Kirk, the theory that Charlie's demise was a psyop starts to become more believable, and people like Erika and Cabot Phillips were allegedly set up to pick up up the mantle immediately afterwards. It has now been exposed that contrary to what Erika Kirk said about never dating 5 years before meeting Charlie, she was in fact dating, and Cabot Phillips was one of the men she was allegedly with.
When I lived out here, I was here for 5 years. I never dated here because I saw vicariously through my roommate how terrible it was.
Erika has always claimed that meeting Charlie was a coincidence, but sources allude that she has always been circling around his orbit. Photo evidence suggests that Erika was at a Trump rally in Arizona that was hosted by Tyler Bowyer.
We've been together for 2 years, and we met through a family friend.
Should we go through the whole story?
Why don't you tell the story?
Do you want to give the Spark Notes version, or do you want to give...
We'll do the long-form podcast version.
Long-form podcast version. Okay. So you started Turning Point in 2012, right? So Trump's first rally in Arizona was when? And it was
the summer of 15.
Summer of 15.
Erika claims that it was at this event that she met Tyler Bowyer. However, in-depth analysis points to facts that Tyler Bowyer and Erika already knew each other before said event. Fingers even point to Romania. But for some reason, Erika cannot remember how she met Tyler Bowyer, the man who introduced her to her husband.
Then you met Erika, and that was an easy sell.
That sealed the deal.
That sealed the deal. And that was an easy sell.
I wanted to hire her. I only had one problem. Charlie Kirk wanted to date her. Long story short, I was very worried he was going to scare her off and screw it up. And I was going to lose this incredible prospect.
How does Erika Kirk know Tyler Bowyer? She couldn't recall that in person. We can't get an answer. That seems to be something that she doesn't want to answer, right? But Tyler's a very significant person because he introduced her to Charlie. He set that up.
Before this interview turned proposal happened, more data suggests that Erika was trying to meet Charlie organically. However, it wasn't working out. Remember that interview where she says she saw an oddly familiar man in the snake of a ticket line, and her mother, Lori Francevy, encouraged her to go say hi, only for said man to turn out to be Charlie?
But just know that nothing is by mistake. Nothing. I will never forget the time I was in Israel with my husband, that was the second time, but the first time with my mother on a pilgrimage. And I was standing in the ticket line, and I remember looking behind me, and in the snake of the ticket line was a guy who looked very familiar. I had no idea who he was. And I told my mom, this guy looks so familiar. And as a typical mother, she said, go and say hi. No. We were late for our flight, and I'm not going to come off like a crazy person that's just weird. That ended up being Charlie. Nothing is by coincidence.
Sources claim that wasn't any coincidence. Erika was allegedly set up to intercept Charlie at that airport, but when that didn't go as planned, Tyler Bowyer reportedly had to step in. Now, Tyler stepping in allegedly meant that Cabot Phillips had to step out, even though he and Erika appeared to be the perfect couple in now deleted Instagram posts, like this one where Cabot writes, "Yes, we are that couple that gets painting lessons together." Cabot Phillips has reportedly tried to provide proof that he was never at Fort Huachuca the night of September 9th. His alibi are photos of him at a store buying things for his wife's gender reveal. However, the evidence isn't proof enough because dates on iPhone photos can be edited. And to make matters even more suspicious, in the photos he provided, the dates on the magazines on display behind him don't add up.
Cabot Phillips finally responds to Candace Owens, and we've got Candace's response back. While his alibis look better than the ones we've seen before, there are still questions, and especially why didn't he text Candace back? First, he said, I was not in Fort Huachuca on 9/8 or 9/9. I've never been. I was home in Nashville both days. On the afternoon on the 8th, I attended an ultrasound with my wife and stopped to get balloons for a gender reveal with our son that evening. It's a boy if anyone was wondering. The following morning, I was at work as usual. Here are photos and surveillance footage below to prove my whereabouts. Go touch some grass, folks, you are being lied to. So he shows surveillance of himself going into work on September 9th at 9:17 a.m. And then here's one of the photos he provided. And on top it says September 8th, 5:57 p.m. And another photo that he provided checking out with stuff for the gender reveal. September 8th, 5:22 p.m. and his location. But some people pointed out the magazines behind him.
What's even more controversial with Cabot Phillips' involvement in the alleged psyop at Fort Huachuca is that, just like Erika, he has been linked to circles revolving around Jeffrey Epstein. Cabot Phillips has been on Ellen DeGeneres' show, and she was just recently allegedly named in the Epstein files as Hollywood's most prolific consumer, if you know what I mean.
The Epstein files reveal Ellen DeGeneres as, and I'm quoting this directly from the posts, Hollywood's most prolific cannibal, that she consumed human flesh
Her constant conversations about pizza, as well as ordering pizza at the Oscars, have been exposed to carry more sinister undertones than we imagined.
I have this crazy idea that I will order pizza, and so if I do, I don't want it to go to waste. Who will eat pizza if I... Jennifer, yes? Harrison?
So, to have Cabot Phillips tattoo the word pizza on the insides of his lower lips with a caption, "Good to give yourself a little reminder sometimes." Even after all the controversies surrounding the word, it is quite appalling. It makes you question if he actually knew what he was doing when he posted that picture, which is, by the way, still on his page till date, or if it was simply just an innocent Photoshop like he claims it is, but that's still about the least of it. Cabot Phillips has been alleged to have political connection and family ties via his father, Tim Phillips, to an occultic megachurch known as Cornerstone Chapel. If you've been following this story, then you know that this wouldn't be the first or the only awkward connection that TPUSA has with controversial pastors and parishes. Take Pastor Victor Marks, for instance, who is reportedly very close to Erika and was one of the first individuals to announce Charlie Kirk's demise even before it became official.
Victor Marks is very much a part of the Turning Point faith orbit. He is apparently extraordinarily close to Erika Kirk, right? So much so that he was the first that we could find to publicly announce that Charlie Kirk had passed away on September 10th.
Victor Marks also soft-launched his rise into politics by announcing his gubernatorial candidacy at Charlie Kirk's memorial. He also made this controversial statement on his sit-down with Candace Owens.
And then I contacted Erika through a text and told her. I just told her, nobody's gonna kill you. You're safe, you and the kids. No one's coming after you. They just wanted Charlie.
Then there's Pastor Terry Christ, who is reportedly best friends with Brain Houston, a New Zealand pastor who was exposed for covering up his father as a pedophile.
Pastor Terry Christ has a very interesting background. So he is very good friends with Brian Houston, who was the founder of Hillsong. And like you said, he was very much like he covered up his father's pedophilia for years, and he actually never got charged for it. And so Brian Houston resigned eventually, and then right afterwards, Pastor Terry Christ also resigned from his church that he was leading, but he said it wasn't related. So nothing to see there. And then
in addition, when Erika launched her Make Heaven Crowded tour, she partnered with Pastor Greg Laurie from Harvest Christian Fellowship. And as of early 2026, Harvest Christian Fellowship and its lead pastor, Greg Laurie, are facing 22 consolidated federal lawsuits related to allegations of minor SA and CT operations in Romania. All of these data allegedly all points to one thing, that Charlie's demise was premeditated, and there were individuals already set in place to ride the wave of his absence into higher positions. We see that in all the people who got promotions and medals of honor right after he was gone. We see that in people who try to use his name for a book promotion, who are allegedly taking down some of his past content and using his image to pursue their own personal interests. People allegedly see that in Erika Kirk, as they reportedly do in Cabot Phillips. However, reports claim that the light at the end of the tunnel is only just a couple clicks away. The truth will be revealed soon enough, and Joe Rogan is one of the individuals riding the helm of it. Right now, what's important are your thoughts about this, so let us know what you think down in the comments. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button as well. Thanks for watching.